Joining us as promised, we have Jay Stuckwish from Twisted Pixels. Jay sitting down here with both Gary and I. Jay, thanks for taking some time to sit down with Gary and I and take some time out of your busy schedule.
Yeah, thank you for having me on the show. It's a lot of fun. Sorry I missed you guys last week, but
Yeah.
we'll make up for it and have a good show this week,
Oh,
right?
I'm sure we will. And
All
as we
right.
told everyone, you have more important things to do. We get it.
We
Well,
we enjoy the fruits of your labor.
good. I appreciate that. Thank you very much, and the fact that you were still willing to have me come by, much appreciated. Thank
Hey,
you.
there's nothing wrong with it. You owe us nothing because I'm sure you know not only amongst our community but amongst probably a lot of Xbox gamers, Twisted Pixel is probably the favorite developer as far as on the Microsoft side goes.
Oh, well, thank you very much. I appreciate that.
I know some people are like, don't speak for all of us, but
Yeah,
I
right.
know I feel pretty confident when I say the mass majority appreciates your guys' work.
Uh,
And speaking of your guys' work, you guys have a new game coming out for the Xbox 360 and Xbox One called LocoCycle.
we
Now,
do.
this is our chance where we're going to be asking Jason questions here about LocoCycle, and we asked you guys for some community questions, and we took a couple of them, and we're gonna get to talk a little bit about this current gen and next gen game here. So Jay, you ready?
Yeah, I am.
All right.
Let's do this.
So I guess first of all, for those who don't know about LocoCycle, can you tell everyone at home a little bit about it?
Well, it's your run-of-the-mill play as a fighting motorcycle game where you drag your mechanic along behind you and she kung fu fights and speaks 40 different languages and stuff like that. I mean, it's not any different than any other game you've probably played. So,
At first, I thought to myself, "Oh, Road Rash," and then I was like,
yeah,
"Except like being drug around."
right. Yeah, so in this game, you play as Iris, who is the sentient motorcycle. She's been created as a piece of military technology by the Big Arms Military Academy, which is a division of Big Science, if you're familiar with that from some of our past games.
hmm
And Iris is a piece of military technology, and she actually gets struck by lightning during this large presentation of her abilities for a bunch of heads of different military forces, and she goes a little haywire, kind of like the in the movie Short Circuit. She goes a little crazy and decides she doesn't want to be military tech anymore. She wants to be free and on the open road. But in order to get away from big arms and to go on this journey, she needs to take her mechanic with her. So she attaches Pablo, her mechanic, to her swing arm and takes off with him across the country on this journey. And unfortunately for Pablo, as the unwilling hero in this, he doesn't speak English, and Iris's translators were fried, so now she can't understand Spanish anymore. And so the entire time, Pablo is screaming to be let go and pleading for his life. And meanwhile, she thinks he's just talking about everyday things like how nice their trip is or how beautiful the weather is, stuff like that. So you get an interesting dynamic between the two, where it becomes this kind of crazy buddy comedy between the two. So it's a lot of fun, and I think people will find the twisted pixel
Oh
humor
yeah.
in this game is pretty rampant throughout.
Yeah, you definitely can pick that up through the trailer and I'm glad you kind of explained that because at first when you first watch the trailer, which we have up on the site, when you first
Mhm.
watch it, you look at that and you think to yourself, I don't get it. Why is this guy being drug along here? But you've literally painted that picture pretty clearly for us now.
Yeah, yeah, and I know when we were first showing the game, we were being a little bit elusive about that. Like, we didn't mention Pablo at all, and people when they're playing it, they're like, "What's with the dude on the back of the bike?" And we're
Yeah.
like, "Oh, and, it's just a guy." And people were thinking like, "Okay, is he only there for this level and stuff like that?" But no, he's with you from the beginning, and he's an integral part of the game because he, like I said, is kind of the unwilling hero in this, and you'll actually play as Pablo from time to time, helping Iris out if she breaks down
Hmm.
and things like that. So again, we're kind of in our typical Twisted Pixel fashion. We'll mix up gameplay and try and make some innovative gameplay in there. It's things that people really haven't done in other games before.
Nice. Now you were saying that you can play as Pablo, and I guess this
Mhm.
kind of leads to like the next question. Can you talk about some of the different kinds of modes that we'll see in the game? I mean, single player, multiplayer, and really can you touch on specifically playing as Pablo?
Sure. Yeah, actually, so LocoCycle is going to be a single player only
Oh,
title. We decided to forego the multiplayer aspect of things because we really wanted to focus on just a really strong single player combat game, and so that's kind of where we were, putting all of our focus. And in that is like we wanted to mix up gameplay styles and stuff like that. So like you mentioned Road Rash, you will see like some racing elements and things like that within the game, but it's going to be more of like you're taking Iris into open air melee combat. There's going to be uh, shooting gameplay as well as like some quick time events, and those will like be some things where you'll be playing as Pablo. I think we showed in our last demo where Iris actually breaks down mid sentence as she's driving, and you have to take over controls as Pablo to fix her and get her back online and running again before this semi is barreling down on you and about to run over you guys.
oh, very cool.
Yeah. So yeah, again, it's just going to be kind of a lot of different mixes of different gameplay action within throughout the game.
Now, you talk about Iris too. I'm curious if you've gotten this comparison at all. But when you hear Iris talking like the trailers at all, she reminds me of GLaDOS from Portal. Is that a fair comparison?
Um, she's
Like a
I mean,
strong
she's not really.
personality?
Yeah, she has a very strong personality. It's actually like we weren't setting out to like recreate GLaDOS or
No, I
anything like that.
understand.
We really wanted to like have that robotic sound. And Lisa Foyles is the voice
Oh,
of Iris,
nice.
and yeah, and she actually like nailed that performance
Oh,
without a lot of digital enhancements. I mean, we've got our audio guy Chainsaw, who is magic on with everything that has to do with sound, and he's
with a
he's
name
done
like
a little
that, I bet
bit
he
of
is.
what's that?
So I bet with a name like that, I bet he is.
Yeah, yeah. And he's been able to digitize her voice and stuff, but her performance was that like cold robotic personality that we wanted, and yet still having enough inflections in there to make it funny. And I mean, she just did a really good job. But being that she is like that, you compare like the way she sounds to GLaDOS is a huge compliment because we're all big fans of Portal here and stuff like that. So yeah, it's pretty cool.
Well, you guys earned it, certainly. I'm sure
Thank
I'm
you.
not the only one who's thought that. Now,
I'm when Pablo talks in the game, I'm assuming he's going to get subtitles.
Yeah.
good.
Pablo will be
Yeah.
subtitled. Yeah, we have we can have it. We have it so you can turn all the subtitles on within the game, or you can turn Pablo's subtitles off. So if people want a bit of a challenge, or for our Spanish speaking demographic, and they don't need the they don't need the subtitles, it might be funnier for them without. So
I took a year of Spanish in middle school. I'll be fine.
yeah.
See, seeing your guys' humor even in text, I figured that it would have to be in subtitles. It'd be hard to get some things across in a one-sided conversation, I imagine.
Right.
Nice. So here's a big question here. I'm sure that's on many gamers' minds. Will LocoCycle be using the Kinect?
We will actually not be using Connect for LocoCycle. This will all be controller based.
Gary, did you feel that?
I did feel
That
that.
was the earthquake of many people jumping up and down. No offense to Microsoft and their Kinect. I'm sure.
No offense to Gunstringer either.
Yeah, no offense
Oh.
to Gunstringer. Actually, we have a question about that later as well.
Right.
But I know that I'm sure, as you know, Jay, the Kinect has not been very popular amongst many gamers. But
Yeah, I mean, I think the technology has it's still young, and I
yeah,
think it has the potential to do a lot of cool things. I mean, we've heard of some of things that people want to do with it, and there's even stuff that we want to do with it, and I think the technology will get there. I think it's people are knocking on it here and there, but I think just give it time.
yeah,
It's like anything, I mean, just give it some time to kind of gel and become a thing, and
yeah.
you'll like
And
it.
you guys nailed it with the Gunstringer. So I
You
definitely,
guys know what you're
I
doing with
think
it for
that,
sure.
yeah, and I think that's a positive sign of things to come.
Hmm.
But you said it best. Time will tell everything. And I think the big thing too right now is especially with the Wii catering towards more of a casual market, I think there's a lot of hardcore gamers that just look at like, I don't want anything to do with motion controllers, and are not even willing to give it a chance. That's why I'm
Hmm.
still kind of a big supporter with Xbox One Pack and Connect in. Like, you know what? If you don't want to use it, that's fine, but it's going to be in your home, and eventually you're going to want to just try it out.
Right, right.
Um, Now LocoCycle will be available on the Xbox 360 and Xbox One, like I said in the
Hmm.
beginning of the show. Can we expect anything different between the two? I mean, I know with a lot of the cross generation games, like I remember like the Maddens are perfect examples. I remember when the new gen of Xbox 360 Madden 05 came out, it was, oh my god, it was terrible.
Mm.
I'm sure we don't expect the differences to be like that, but are there going to be different offerings for both versions, and will we see a PC release?
So to answer the Xbox One and 360 question first, the game is going to be the same game on both consoles. Right now, I don't know if you knew this or not, but when we were first in development on the game, it was actually slated to be a 360
Yeah.
release. Yeah, so we were in full development on that, and then later on, we kind of decided about halfway through the development that this would be, better as an Xbox One launch title, and we kind of got the blessings to go ahead and do that. So we've been now, reworking the game and like adding graphical enhancements and stuff like that for Xbox One, and it'll be coming out on that first. So really, it's the same game. I mean, if we had been going, maybe Xbox One from the start, and then going, to 360, we might be able to add some other things here and there.
Yeah.
But um, truth is, we're a small team, so
You would never know with the kind of production you guys put out.
we can kind of only do what we can do. And since we were so far in development on it as a 360, yeah, well, thanks. Yeah, so we were able to take everything like the game as it is and work it for Xbox One, and then we'll be releasing sometime after Xbox One launch on 360. We're just not sure when that'll be yet.
Okay.
And as for PC, we would love to go PC with it, and it's not saying that we won't. We just aren't sure what's going to happen with that right now. So we'll hopefully know more about that as we get closer to launch. So hopefully we can circle back on that question then.
Yeah, and releasing both on both like having both versions be the exact same. There's actually nothing wrong with that because I think for the people that are going to be staying behind on the 360, maybe not
Hmm.
migrating over to Xbox One on day one, at least they can have a peace of mind saying, at least I'm not getting a half the game of what the XB1 players are getting. So that
Right, exactly. And we just wanted to make sure that we had like all those bases covered. I mean, we wanted, there is going to be, I mean, I probably wouldn't be getting an Xbox One, right away if I wasn't, working here, So
yeah.
I would be like, okay, well, I still want to play the game, so I'll get it on my 360, and so I think that'll be good. It's covering both platforms or both areas, I guess, at the time, and people will get to play it and on both consoles.
Yeah.
So I think that'll be good.
Good.
Well, is this going to be a digital only release, or are you planning on
Oh,
releasing it in
I
disc
think I might have
form
lost
too?
you guys.
Nope. You there?
Yeah, this will be. Yeah, I got you now.
Okay,
Okay.
cool.
Okay. Yeah, this is going to be a digital release for Xbox One. So as soon as you get home, both actually, Xbox One
Okay.
and 360. So yeah, as soon as you get that new Xbox home, you'd be able to jump online and download the game.
Nice, nice,
Awesome.
nice. Um, Now you were kind of talking earlier about with Iris and Pablo and the kind of personalities they'll have. Really, all of your games have such a have such a unique design and personality to them. Can we expect the same from LocoCycle, and in what way? Explosion Man was kind of that giddy, laughy guy. Comic Jumper was
Hmm.
just straight up hilarious. Can you touch a little bit more on maybe Iris and Pablo and everything else, the kind of personality and really what it's going to be bringing to the table compared to your other franchises?
Yeah. Well, we hope to have that same kind of humor that we're known for. We really enjoy games that are fun and funny. And what we really kind of pride ourselves on with our games a lot is our characters and the world that we've created around them. I mean, That's we're really firm believers in, like, story and characters are really big drivers. And we think that Iris and Pablo are a perfect addition to that canon of characters. It's just I guess just the complete absurdity of, like, you have this motorcycle that fights in midair, in several different forms of armed and unarmed combat, dragging this poor mechanic behind her that doesn't speak a lick of English. It's just kind of this. It's like kind of the craziest buddy comedy you can have between two
Yeah.
characters. That whole, it's almost like that whole Perfect Strangers thing and Cousin Larry, who doesn't, which is awesome. And then of course, we've got, we like to add in our, all of our nods to, either older games or cheesy movies that we love and things like that. So you can expect definitely a lot of that. I mean, I would definitely rank the interaction between these two and kind of the craziness of these characters up there with Miss Splosion Man and Splosion
Oh,
Man.
nice.
I just think that people will really enjoy the interaction between these two characters and many of the other unnamed and unmentioned characters within the game. You're going to see a lot of fun stuff that I really, really want to reveal but can't yet. So yeah, look forward to it.
One of the coolest things to me is that, and I never would have expected it from them all, but you guys have kind of taken this whole universe with big science and stuck with it. It's really cool because I never would have called that from the start. Is that like a world? Like, have you guys even named that world at all, or like, I'm just curious as to if that whole universe even has a name to you guys.
Not really. We haven't really named that universe, I guess. I mean, I guess we kind of look at it like it's, within our own universe that, yeah, we're not really too specific about that. We just like the idea of everybody kind of like everything kind of circles back to our previous stuff in one way or another.
It is. I always thought that was pretty cool, and I never would have called it from the mall. I never would have thought that even playing Explosion Man, unless you find your Easter egg in there, part of you doesn't even realize that that's all the same universe. I mean, then you find your guy's Easter egg, and then all of a sudden you're like, oh, this is
Yeah.
in the same place.
Yeah.
Nice.
We like to do that, throw those little things in there.
Oh yeah, you guys do a great job of them. Now, I know everyone's excited for LocoCycle, and if they're not, they better be, because there will be serious consequences.
Yeah, there will be.
That's
A lot
it.
of
Coming from
money and money and time went into this. Come
coming
on,
from the
guys.
man himself, there will be consequences if you're not at least excited for this. But I'm not gonna ask you for a specific release date, and yeah, and I'm sure you don't want one either. But can you give us a time frame as to when we will see LocoCycle be released? And can you give us a price? If not, that's fine.
Well, it's not that I don't want to give you a release date. It's just that it's launching the same day as Xbox One.
And
So
hence
if I
why-
give a release date, I'll probably be knocking on your guys' door for a job. So
Hey, well, we're hiring.
But I can tell you that I know, Microsoft announced that they're looking to release Xbox One sometime in November. Who knows? They may announce a date during this Gamescom thing. I don't know. I know Sony just announced theirs. But I can tell you that once you have heard from Microsoft what day the Xbox One is launching, that'll be the same day that LocoCycle launches. So you can look forward to that.
And there you have it. You guys can complete this interview on your own. You have a little
That's
bit of
right.
homework to do. We asked our community for some questions, as we always do for every interview we do. So if you guys want to participate in any interview, make sure you guys always put in the comments, ask us your questions, just like Tahamid did. Where did the name Twisted Pixel come from?
Well, it came from the three founders of the company, Josh, Mike, and Frank. They all used to work at a video game company in Chicago and decided to break off and start their own thing. And they were just kind of throwing around a bunch of different titles or company names and stuff like that. And because our games tend to be more on the twisted side, Twisted Pixel is kind of what stuck.
Nice. I was always curious. That's actually good to know that one. I was expecting something like, yeah, we just threw a bunch of pixels on the screen and got the name Twisted Pixel.
Yeah, well, that's kind of what we did. I mean, we just throw a
Okay.
bunch of pixels at the screen to make a game, and
And
some of them didn't line up right.
I like it. This next one comes from Rusky McMusky. How are you able to develop such tight Kinect controls when so many other titles seem to struggle in this area? And he's referring to obviously your guys' Kinect release of the Gunstringer.
Mm. Um, you know,
Mm.
that's a good question. I actually, you know what? I put 100% of that on the programmers and the designers and how they were able to work together to make that game come about. I mean, just we have a great team, a great group of guys. When we hire on, we really make sure that they're like, yes, of course, we want to know that their technical skills are good, but like they need to be a good fit for this company and like working with people and stuff like that. And like everybody worked together so hard on that. It was such, it was kind of new technology, and they were just able to do some pretty incredible things with the programming of Connect and how the game would respond. And I wish I could understand how they did it so well
Mm.
and tell you exactly how they did it, but I just know that it was a lot of hours fine tuning things and getting things to the point where it felt just right.
Wow. I wish more developers would spend this kind of time with their game, let alone the Kinect titles.
Well, I mean, there's a lot that goes
Oh,
into making these games more than just that. I
Yeah,
mean,
I am
so
not
yeah.
knocking by any stretch of the imagination. I'm not knocking anybody. I've just it's as we've said, you guys with all your games, you guys seem to hit the nail on the head, which is why you guys are really one of both Gary and I's personal favorites.
Oh, thank you. Appreciate that.
Um,
Yeah, I mean, it was a fun title to work on. It was like no one else was really doing anything like that, and we saw like and not knocking any other games like there's
no,
dance games and some other
sports.
kind of and sports and stuff like that. So it was like, well, let's see where we can take this technology and maybe and push it a little further and I feel like it was successful. I mean, it was a lot of fun I mean, it was had a lot of its nightmares too, but I mean, it was a lot of fun to work on
Oh,
and like, again, a great cast of characters that we can add to our ensemble and just hopefully one of those games that people can still be excited about to play.
nice, nice.
You guys made the right choices when you made it too. Like instead of making it a game where you control the character yourself, making the levels scroll, so you took that out of the player's hands. I mean, that was
Mm.
a brilliant decision because you get too much going on with the Kinect, and obviously it might not pick up on you, or it just becomes to the point where lazy gamers won't want to play it at that point in time.
Yeah, yeah.
All right, Jay. Last question for you here.
Okay.
Now, as I just said, you're one of Gary and I's favorite developers, as well as many gamers out there. You guys, well, and I think we say both of us here will say this. You are Microsoft's best developer. Sorry, 343. Don't listen to this. But anyway, we've seen you guys create the platformers and Explosion Mans, the action adventure games like the Mall, the side-scrolling shooters and Comic Jumper. Obviously, we just talked about the Kinect game and the Gunstringer, and now you guys are doing the racing fighting game in LocoCycle. With that all being said, since you guys have so much talent and you're not really afraid to experiment in any different areas, are there any chances that we might see you guys develop something for like the Windows Phone or dive into another genre, maybe like Twisted Pixel RPG, a fighter, or strategy game?
Oh man.
I know that's probably
All
trying to
good
ask about your
questions.
next project, but
No, that's all good questions. Yeah, I mean, kind of like a broad answer to all that is yes. I mean, we love making games, and we would love to make things for different areas. I mean, we just launched Miss Explosion Man on iPhone and Windows Phone, and she also came out on Steam. So I mean, obviously, mobile is such a great platform and area for games, and really, quite honestly, a great area for our games in general. I mean, our games have been getting bigger since the Maw, but are still at a good area to be like, we could take these games to mobile, maybe with some slight modifications here and there, or even take our cast of characters and make new games for that market. as well as the PC side as well. So we're definitely open to expanding into different areas with our games. It's just, again, it comes down to the fact that we are a super small team,
Yeah.
and we really have to kind of focus on one thing at a time right now. And one of those things is the fact that we really love, in addition to all of our other characters, we really love creating new IPs.
Yeah.
So we don't want to be pigeonholed as like as a sequel company or anything like that. Again, it's stuff that we'd love to do because I'd love to see a Maw 2 come out there, but we also have so many ideas for new things that we want to get those out there too. So we'll see. I mean, we'll see what happens. Only time will tell. I mean, we've got our release of Missplosion Man on mobile, and hopefully we'll be able to take some other games that way as well.
Well, and you know what? You kind of make it sound like a bad thing. I know you don't mean to do it, but you kind of make it sound like a bad thing about you guys being such a small team and you can only work on things at once and you like to work on the sequels. And yeah, but you know what? I think the gamers themselves, I think we all appreciate your guys' ability to just create new IPs. I mean, Gary and I have the conversation all the time that there are so many sequels, and I think that this generation will go down as the generation for the sequels. I mean, how many trilogies have we seen in this generation? How many Assassin's Creeds? I mean, don't get me wrong, that's not a bad thing. But I've probably some of the biggest highlights for this generation for myself has been when I've seen new IPs come on, and you've seen developers take new chances on things. And I personally think that's why indie games have become as popular as they are, because from the mainstream titles, all you're seeing is sequel, 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 sequel. And I mean, those sequels, yeah, they're getting great ratings, but I think people do want to play something new. And I think that's really where you guys stand out as a developer, where you're just like, we have great IPs, but we can also continue to create new IPs that will be just as great, if not better.
Oh, well, thanks. Hopefully that.
Don't let me down.
Yeah, right. Who knows? I mean, if we sold as many copies of Comic Jumper as Assassin's Creed sold, maybe we'd be making Comic Jumper 12 by now.
That's true. All right, Jay, I'm going to give you the mic. Is there anything that you want to say? Say whatever you want. Call me an asshole if you want to.
Whoa, okay. That's the first time I knew that we could cuss on here, so I'm just going to with a whole blue
Just
blue
cut
line.
loose now.
Yeah, go ahead. I mean, we don't edit anything out.
No, I actually just wanted to say that we're really excited to get LocoCycle out there. We're hitting PAX, which actually I'm on a plane a week from today to go out to PAX and show off a new demo of LocoCycle out there, and it'll probably be like one of the last things we show on LocoCycle until the game is launched. So yeah, we'd just love to have anybody that's going to PAX that's listening to this come by, stop by our booth. We're always doing a lot of fun stuff out there, showing off the new demo. It'll actually be playable on Xbox One, and we'll be doing our prizes and all that sort of fun stuff. And you can look forward to the release of LocoCycle on Xbox One coming this November.
As well as on Xbox 360.
Yeah, that'll be coming out shortly after. We're not sure exactly on the date on that, but it'll be sometime after it launches on Xbox One.
Now, to keep up with you guys, and you in particular, can we follow you on Twitter anywhere?
Yes, absolutely. You can check us out at twisted_pixel on Twitter, or you can check out our website, twistedpixelgames.com.
What about you personally? Or do you want to give it out at all? Or?
Actually, I handle the Twisted Pixel Twitter, so if
even
you're
better.
looking for me, that's where you'll find me.
Gotcha. All right.
There's lots of cool stuff on their website to buy too. Like if you're a big fan, there's lots of cool stuff to buy on there.
Yeah, we've got our ever-growing online store, and always up for any suggestions of swag that people would like to see on there too.
Picture of Gary and I.
Yeah, let's do that.
With you in the middle. Anyway,
are you guys heading to PAX this year or no?
We won't be.
You won't be.
Unfortunately. I'm sorry we've let you down.
Oh, that's okay. I understand.
Yeah, but
if I could opt out, I totally would. Because it's killing me. No, I'm kidding. I love PAX. It's a lot of fun.
It wouldn't surprise me if you're being serious, though. I'm sure.
No, I mean, it's a lot of work because I handle all of it, but it's a fun show. It's definitely, like any shows that we go to, it's definitely our favorite because it's all about the fans and it's all about the people that helped us get to where we are. So we're just happy to be out there with them and hang out, and it's really just a lot of fun.
Yeah. hopefully next year we'll be there.
All right, sounds good.
Because I know Kevin really wanted to go this year, one of the
Yeah.
other guys on staff, but just didn't happen for us. So actually, not even hopefully, well, definitely next year.
Okay,
At
I
least
like
At
that.
least Kevin and I don't want to speak on behalf of you, Gary.
Right. Well, I have a wife that I have to clear things through as well. So
He's laughing at you.
So you get to no,
I'm just kidding. I'm
I'm right
just
there with
kidding.
you. Yeah, you just have to kind of work the angle where it's like, well, I go do this weekend, next weekend we go do what you want to do. So
funny thing is, with my wife, she'd be mad if I didn't take her with me.
oh well,
Yeah,
She's a giant nerd. So
then there's no question you're going.
Yeah.
You're both going.
Yeah. All right, so guys, remember LocoCycle coming out this November for both Xbox One and shortly after for the Xbox 360. Jay, we appreciate you taking time out of your busy schedule to sit down with us, and I'm sure the entire community of Chomp on this gaming appreciates your time as well.
Oh man, I appreciate the invite. Thank you guys so much for having me, and hopefully we can do this again sometime.
I hope we can do this again too. Maybe even we'll try it. We'll schedule something. Maybe we'll do something before it comes out as a reminder. Maybe we'll do something afterwards. Whatever you want to do.
Sounds good.
You always have an open seat on this podcast. I won't let anybody sit in it.
Oh well, thank you very much. I appreciate that.
All right.
All right, guys. Thank you.